to Pure Cringe. We are the podcast where we hop back into the hot tub time machine and we go back to the glory days of Bravo TV to talk about things like Project Runway Season 1. That's what we're doing today, Michelle. I am here with you to do the thing. Are you excited?
I am, though. You stopped me now because I'm thinking about my hot tub forays. So anyway.
I think you probably had more fun in hot tubs than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look better in a bikini. I think you probably spent way more time in a hot tub.
It was one with my husband before he was my husband.
Right. That's what they all
in the
say.
Mountains. It was very cold. There was other people.
Okay. Is this a swinger story that we're going to
It was not a swingers. I didn't know what swingers were. Swinging? Like, do you like a tire swing or a...
I'm going to say, are we doing the wrong pod? We might need a different pod for this one.
No.
I mean, we're explicit, but shit, man.
Yeah. No. It was... I think we went into someone else's hot tub. Everyone had them sort of like on their back decks, and we
wow.
And the person we were with lived there. Well, Brian lived there too, but he was just like, let's just go. Like, I know these people are never home, and of course we're in the hot tub, and the people renting it from them decided to come home.
Fuck off.
Yeah, so we're all like, okay, let's it's like snowing and it's very cold. They were okay with it. I guess like these things happen. So the people were like, yeah, okay. They just shut the light off and walked away. Well, maybe we should go.
So you're the best part of this podcast, I swear to God, because you always have the most hot, like the hottest takes, and like you come up with the craziest stuff. I love the introduction now to hot tub culture.
Hot tub culture.
Like hot tub style. I didn't know that was even a thing. I'm gonna have to look this shit up. If you guys are into hot tubs and like you're part of that swinger life that Michelle is apparently thinking about.
I'm not telling you. I didn't know what swingers were. I only recently found out.
I was gonna say I'm still not 100%. But you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this earlier because when I was rewatching this episode, I was reminded about every time I watch it, I'm reminded about how hot Robert is.
Oh God, yeah.
I would 100% get in a hot tub with him.
Would you?
Yeah.
You'd have to
not
use
today.
Abril first, right?
Not this Maria. I'd like the Maria from 25 years ago. That'd be cool. that'd be fine. Not this Maria, but that Maria back then, sure. He's very cute. I'd hot tub it with him. I can't wait to see how this episode goes, though.
Why is he always so tan?
I don't know. I was going to ask you about that. Let's hop in, and I have so many questions about Robert, especially once we find a little bit more about his background.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dive too deeply, I do want to remind you of something. So what we've been doing is, as I'm sure you remember, at the end of every pod, we're making our predictions for the next week to see who gets eliminated. So I just want to remind you that your prediction was Kevin.
Yeah.
Who is 100% Chester for me. And then my prediction is Star. And so I have wanted Star to go since day one, and I just don't understand why nobody is reading my signals on that. So we're going to see how that plays out today. So I just want to throw that out there. All right. So let's dive into this sucker. Let's towel off.
So wait, what episode are we on here?
We are on season 1, episode 3.
Yep.
This one is called Commercial Appeal. Which I have to say instantly kind of made me frown because I was like, oh. And then I realized this is going to be dramatic because, of course, none of these people are super commercial.
No, but I thought it was an interesting exercise. I think the other ones were really kind of mindfucks for them. And I think this one was like they passed that test, and this one was,
a real design exercise.
A real design. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, yeah, to your point where making like a bikini out of candy is not.
No.
Right. We really got to see everybody's style this time. So this one is called Commercial Appeal. I'm dying to do this with you because I think this one had a lot of really, really cringy moments. So we are in the Atlas Apartments post-elimination. And I have to say, I am astounded by how into Mario J was.
I know.
Like, so he was heartbroken.
Who was he asking? Like, do you miss Mario?
He's asking Vanessa. While she's brushing her hair with what looks like a very large toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very strange situation, brushing her hair over the sink. It was pretty cute.
Yeah.
He says he learned from Mario's elimination because I think both of them had that sort of like fuck you. This is our design aesthetic. This is the kind of designers we are. No apologies, no regrets.
Yeah,
And I think he saw Mario go down in flames on that.
absolutely, absolutely. He kind I kind of thought that Jay was on that train with his last design. Like fuck you, I'm just going to do what I want to do, which what you do is
I'm
not
gonna
really
do
that great.
leggings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna do leggings.
with words all over it. I mean, that's so like 1980s, right? With like
Oh yeah, I would have
French
totally
words
owned
all over
those.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would have wanted those so badly, but not been able to afford them for some reason in
Yeah.
like the late 80s. I would have
Uh-huh.
loved them. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think he does. I think this is his moment now where I think we see actually honestly I think we see this in everybody here. And maybe to your point, it's because of the shift
Yeah.
from this being gimmicky to really being about design, where
Hmm.
everybody now is going to start to pay attention and get
Yeah.
bitchy and competitive,
Yeah.
which is what we've been waiting for.
Yes.
That's basically our love language. Um, I'm actually curious, Michelle, because I don't really know this about you. I mean, we did play. So for those of you that might be joining us, like Michelle and I went to high school together, and we're in our early 50s, so we've known each other for a bit. So we went to an all girls Catholic high school, which should explain so much about our language usage. But anyway, so we both played soccer, and where Michelle is laughing now. I should have used quotes. I can't because I have stuff in my hands right now, but I should have done like air quotes for soccer because I don't think that was really soccer. I feel like that was just me running.
I was more interested in like getting the uniform and like what shin guards and like why that uniform was this color and the socks. Could I have different color socks? I in the
Not unlike yourself
sneakers.
today, right? Like you were trying to make it stylish.
Yeah, at any rate, yeah, I felt we just ran around. We just ran around. And then there was something about a ham sandwich.
Yes. So I don't. There's something about a ham sandwich. So our coach's name, Mr. Martin, and I only know what his name is because I'd have to tell him what my number was because he couldn't remember any of our names. So I'd have to tell him what my number was in order to enter the game. So I'd have to be like, Mr. Martin, number 9, because I was
Yeah.
number 9 because
Number
I loved
nine.
Jim McMahon. I was a big Jim McMahon fan at the time. So I took number 9. And I don't really remember anything happening other than him saying that like we took so long to do stuff that he could have had a Coke and a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. It took us like a
Uh,
long time to like just to run to do the warm up.
yeah. And so he would just always complain about our laziness. And so I was trying to think like, were we competitive? I
No,
don't think
we smoked. We were on cigarette
yeah.
breaks half the
I was gonna
time.
say I would be throwing up on the sidelines because I was at that point smoking close to 2 packs a day, even
Uh-huh.
in high school. But I would be like practically puking on the ride home. I remember because I would drive myself to and from the games.
Uh-huh.
I had my own car at the time.
How did
But
everyone
yeah,
else get there? Was
I
there a
think a lot of other
bus?
people were younger, and
Okay.
there was yeah. So I think you and I were either juniors or seniors at that time,
Okay. Yeah.
and I think that a lot of the girls were sophomores,
Okay. Gotcha.
so they didn't have rides. But I think like people like Lee Graham, she also, I think she
Yeah.
drove too.
She really played
Um,
too, right? She did.
Oh
She
yeah,
actually
she's
played.
actually an athlete, that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Miss OLN. But so it's funny to me because I think about it, I'm like, we weren't competitive at all. Were you competitive in college? I mean, I'm sure that you had stuff. I mean, especially in your master's, getting your master's, did you have to do things where you would compete, like photographs that you took or, stuff like that?
Um, no, I mean that's not my nature. I mean, I'm like a real lone wolf. I mean, I just kind of do my thing and you can like it or you can dislike it. I don't really care. I'm just really just no, I'm gonna kind of do what I want to do, and I never really did like competitive sports. Like I skied, but that was like I wasn't competing in skiing. I was going down the hill to have fun. I did like CrossFit when I got older. But then also there was like a lot of competition with yourself to just see like, could you make yourself throw up at the end? You did a really good job
Is
if you
that
did.
I suspected that was the point of CrossFit. It's
Uh,
like how much can I get how
yeah,
quickly
I
can I
mean, it
vomit?
was really you would. I mean, you could compete against other people, but if that's like high levels. But at the end of the day, if you could get through like the workout or like 3 of them a week, they were pretty intense. So that was I yeah. So I don't know. I was just always like a self measuring kind of thing. Like, can I do this for my own benefit? But I mean, I don't watch sports or anything like that. So the sports,
Yeah,
sometimes I watch the Super
sports.
Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I'm competitive either. Although I don't. I'm trying to think of a time. where I mean, I've only maybe competed a couple of times in my life for stuff. I mean, I remember being younger, being a cheerleader and competing in a cheerleading competition, and we got second place. And I remember wanting to win first, obviously, because we
Mm-hmm.
worked really hard. But other than that, I can't think of a time when I've been competitive. So
What about like dancing? Like you didn't ever want to be competitive then, or?
no, we didn't have dance teams. So the dance studio that I went to was like affiliated with the Boston Ballet.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a funnel into the Boston Ballet.
Yep.
And so you had the ability to try out for things. Like that's how I was in the Nutcracker and stuff. Of course, I wanted to get in, but I also wasn't a great dancer. Spoiler
Mm-hmm.
alert, you guys. Um, which is why I'm not doing it now. So I was not, there was never an expectation that I was going to get a lead part or anything like that. If
Oh,
anything, I
yeah.
was going to
Okay.
be like, so I was like a soldier. I was like a party girl, you know,
Uh-huh.
in the opening sequence. I was a reindeer. I was a candy cane. Like, you know, it was in the core. There was never a
Yep.
situation where I would have tried out for Clara. I was practically 5'10" then,
So were
you
you
know.
like, you were like a like an NPC character, like a
What's that?
non-participating
I would say
character, like in
non-speaking. I would say it'd be a
the
non-speaking
non.
character. If this
Okay.
was, you know what I mean? Like I would be because those were all like background characters, like the children that are dancing at the party that opens the
Yep.
Nutcracker.
Yep.
Like that was my favorite because that has the had the coolest costumes. But although when I was a reindeer, I did get to pull out the Snow Queen and King,
Oh,
and that was
wow.
pretty awesome. And I
Yeah.
did get to wear glittery eyeshadow. So what's up?
Ooh.
What's
Yep.
up? So, but like, yeah, I mean, I when I was waiting for the because you'd get a letter back in the day, you would get a letter that would tell you like if you made it and then what cast you were in and what the
Mm-hmm.
dates that that cast were performing. But like when I got them and I, you know, towards the end when I was getting older, when I didn't get in, I mean, I felt like bad for a minute, but it was never a thing where I was like, I gave it much thought because it was not
Right.
like something I thought about. So and the reason why I even bring this up is because I can't really even relate to the level of stress that they're put
No,
under here,
no, not at all. And
because I
some
think that they
people thrive
perceive
on
it.
that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing. I know, like, just to go back to the dance thing for real quick. I mean,
yeah,
Liam, does
yeah.
tap in his all whatever
All
musical
the things
theater,
this
all that,
kid.
all the things. And his level of competition is that he wants to be in the front line all the time. Like
Mm,
he's gonna and then if he can't like level it up to be in the front line, he's gonna put in some sort of acrobatics to it. Like he's gonna do a backflip on the stage. Like that's his, and he'll practice
yeah,
those fucking flips all the time. And he's always practicing something because he's like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be in the front.
yeah.
So
And I think
yeah.
there is I think for a lot of people who are competitive, there is a certain level of I'm going to show somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like, or and sometimes it's yourself. And I think that's the part that for me like is hard to connect here with them because I can't imagine the level of pressure that is put on them, and also too because so many of them perceive this as like a make or break for their careers.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's the part where I was actually trying to reflect on that, like what that must feel like. I mean, especially for someone, I mean, I can't stand the bitch, but Wendy, who's a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
who isn't old by any means, but who's a little bit older, a little bit further on in a career, and who probably sees this as her last shot.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a certain level of desperation. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's going to inform the rest of the episodes going forward.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
Also,
changed?
I think,
Sure.
sorry, just to keep
No.
cutting you off, but it's early days in these kind of competitions. And as we know now, a lot of them don't go on to do much of anything, or they go on to be repeat cast members, or maybe they have a couple of shots. I don't, at being famous for something, but it's very few, uh, if any, like who really go on to do big things, right? I mean,
To your point, and I think that's what's going to be so fun about us doing that sort of whatever happened to, you know,
uh-huh.
so and so at the end of every episode, because I feel like it does give us an opportunity to say, like, oh shit, was this the opportunity of their lives?
Yeah.
Was this their apex mountain? To quote
Yeah.
my guys at the Rewatchables, who I love so much, like, was this the height of their power? Was this when they were most like creative and you know, was this it? And then did they fall off and just, you know,
Yeah. To
and in
quote
some
Christopher
cases,
Maltasante from the Sopranos, "Where's my fucking arc?"
where's my fucking act,
He's
man?
always looking for his arc. Where's my fucking arc? Yeah.
Where's my fucking act? But no, it's the truth, and I think we're now going to see the effects of the pressure on everyone. So we're seeing it on Jay because he's saying to himself, I have to straighten up and fly right and maybe be
Yep.
a little bit less of myself. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
be honest, whenever I've had to coach somebody who was like having trouble with like their like a personality conflict, I've always said to them, like, hey, listen, like I know that it's easy to want to be 100% of yourself 100% of the time. But sometimes it's okay to be 90% of yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
5% of the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't have to give everything all the time. You
Right.
can hold something back.
Yeah.
Um, and so we see Jay freak out. We also see Star, who I realize now, for me, is Dollar Tree Elise Myers. You know who Elise Myers is, right?
No, Elise
So,
Myers.
oh my God. So I don't want to call her an influencer, but she's a content creator on all without any platform, whatever the platform is. And she is, I feel like she's the originator of the whole idea of like Knuff, like I'm enough. And she's like super funny and cute, always has these really great introspective perspectives, but she has kind of a very delicate, pretty girl, but like a delicate kind of mouse. I think that Star is like her very cheap
Oh yeah. Yeah.
impersonation. Um, did you notice, by the way, while Star is telling us how she's freaking out and how now she feels like
She could
she's
run with the
really,
pack. Yeah.
yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
she has a fucking Chanel tote bag. By the way, she's a corporate lawyer. Like that's the Chiron that comes under her name. She's
Uh-huh.
not lost. She's a corporate lawyer. So that's why she's rocking a Chanel bag, a Chanel tote bag.
Gotcha.
You know,
I
she's
hadn't I
rocking it.
hadn't
Yeah.
seen that. I didn't put that together. Yeah.
Yeah. You know me. I can't ignore a bag. But so she's really starting to, I think, feel like she's getting a little bit I feel like this false sense of confidence in Star
Yeah.
is like what makes American Idol even work.
Yeah.
Um, and then we go to Robert. Michelle, Robert cheated on us and got married and moved to Russia? What the fuck?
So yeah, he's a divorcee. He was living in Russia for a few years. Doesn't surprise me. And he's still sporting the cornrows. He looks good. Yep.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I know.
Robert.
He's yummy in those, right? I bet he got a
Yep.
ton of ass in Russia. I bet he could like cheat on his wife with everybody. He's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so then the designers all sort of magically appear at the Banana Republic Design Studios
Yep.
with Heidi. And Heidi does basic math. I love this. She's like, two of you are gone, and 10 of you are left. I'm like, oh, fucking A. Here we go with this. All right, Heidi. So she gives the challenge, which is, and remember this because I don't know if I feel like hardly anybody did this thing, which is it's a holiday party dress. When
Hmm.
you hear holiday, what holiday do you think they mean?
I mean, so some of them may have thought it was holiday in Australia, which which is
And
very
it was
hot at
summer,
Christmas. Yeah.
right?
They have a Barbie on the beach in the summer. So um
Yeah,
yeah,
they mean Christmas, right? Or Christmas, New Year's,
I'm thinking
Thanksgiving.
Christmas, New Year's, or and then also like maybe sort of cruise wear after that. Like the rich
Okay.
people would go like on a cruise or to an island and you know.
And so to me, I'm like, okay, that's important for me to know because it's for the Banana Republic customer too,
Hmm.
which for me just means it's very a little bit generic. So we meet Deborah Lloyd, who's the executive vice president of Banana Republic, who gives them more details, which
Hmm.
also I think is really interesting because she tries to. I think she really, they really steer them towards where they want them to go. They're literally telling them like we have two stories, two
Yep.
color stories that we're working with, right?
Yep.
Yellow and pink, which they were calling what was it, sexy secretary,
Sexy secretary. Yep.
and then Art Deco. What were your
Uh,
thoughts on those two?
so I used to work a lot of retail, and I know that this is what they do. They have these stories that come in, and they sort of they work a theme, right? So, um, and I like Banana Republic. I've always liked them because I think that they have like enough commercial appeal, but then they do some things that like feel kind of special. And you can look sophisticated. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like a normal thing for me. I don't know if they all understood it. Um,
I was just going to say, I'm like, do you think they were confused? Because I feel like nobody picked these. I feel like either everybody picked the same fabric,
yes,
which
they
we'll talk
did.
about in a minute,
Yeah,
where like
yeah,
four designers picked the same fabric. And then nobody really paid attention to the stories.
well, I think
Um,
like you're getting like
yeah.
the sort of what is it like the rose, like the pink rose thing, and yellow. That was
Yeah, that's that sexy secretary, which I think that has so much, I don't know, it just feels like that had a lot of possibility. And that seemed
Yeah.
like an area where that nobody really explored.
And then there was like your grandma's, attic with
Yeah.
the other clothes. So I don't think they all seem to, one person went with the kind of rose thing and got, yeah, anyway, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that. But they all
So
really kind of
they
went with
freak out, don't they?
yeah,
They all freak out when they see this because, of course, especially someone like Jay, because he's like, this is not my style. I need leggings. I need a marker,
yep, yep,
right? I need to just write things. Do we have a scissors so that I can cut up this fabric
yep,
and make it look distressed? So without that, he's freaking out. And I think he's the person who's most out of his depth.
absolutely.
True.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like everybody else, even someone who maybe doesn't have a ton of experience, like Nora,
Mm-hmm.
I think that she probably gets or is closer to the Banana Republic vision
Yeah.
than naturally than our pal Jay.
Yeah.
Um, so after he freaks out, and I think he's, I think he's having to adjust his headscarf multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
They head back to choose their models, and now, like we've said, like the tough part about the models is there's so many of them, and
Yep.
they're like interchangeable, other than Morgan for me. Morgan is the only
Yeah.
one I know who she is
Yep.
because she's misbehaved. She's kind of a pain in the balls. She's also beautiful
Yeah.
and is a really great walker, I have to say. The last person to choose though is Robert.
And he's not liking that. Because he's a real pleaser, right? So he
He's a
doesn't
ladies'
want to
man.
be,
He wants to fuck them both, Michelle.
yeah, and he doesn't want to be the one to have to say like, you're rejected. That's just not in.
No, he says
No.
yes to everyone. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. I see your
That's why
wheels
we like
turning
him.
over there, Maria. Yep.
Yeah, that's why we
Yep.
like him. So
Yep.
poor Allison goes home.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, except probably Allison. We're all like, oh, we're sad. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Yeah.
Yeah, Nora
Let's get
cries for 30
designing.
seconds
Yeah.
because she didn't repick her. So
Yeah.
they all head back to the workroom where Jay full on dives deep into his panic. Like he
He does.
embraces his panic.
Yep.
Um,
He's
and
having little
Wendy
flip
is,
outs.
yeah, and I think what's helping him process his freak out is like almost like these outbursts
Yeah. Yeah.
where he's like walking around and like fucking around with Robert. And, I think he's trying to diffuse a little bit of the stress that
Mm-hmm.
he's feeling. And Wendy is pissed.
Yeah.
Kevin is full of the eye rolls.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say while this is happening, we see Austin's fabric.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, and maybe I'm off, but there's something about that fabric that gave me like Carrie Bradshaw pink dress at the pond in New
Yeah.
York City.
Yeah.
That Sex and the City episode. There's something about that fabric. I just loved it. I mean, I would never wear it myself. It would never look good on me, but
But
it was.
I guess with the themes that they gave them, with the stories that they gave them, I thought it was a jump for them to try to make holiday dresses with like the fucking pink and rose. I mean, with the rose thing. I mean, I, I thought it was a little bit of a stretch. I think maybe she was just showing them this is what we have, and then you can go and use other
Oh,
stuff. But then now they've
it
got
was
this
too
in their
literal.
head. Yeah, now
Oh,
they've got it in their head. Um,
yeah, because what's interesting is that we end up having three dresses that are way out of
yeah.
that color story,
Yep.
that are two are black and one is a navy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you say that because I wonder if what happened was maybe Austin just took it far too literally
Yeah, he
and
did.
was trying to, do a holiday dress for, I don't know, Margaret Mitchell. Um,
Yes,
so
exactly. She
while
would have
they're
looked
all
great in it.
right, while they're all fucking around, and I get the idea of blowing off steam that way. But
Oh,
it
I
is pissing
do.
off. It is pissing off everybody. And Karasan actually picks up Nora at one point and tries to put her in the garbage,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But I have to say that's one of the funniest things for me is to see Tim's face when
Dun
he
dun
comes in and
dun.
he sees like whatever it is, no matter what it is, he comes in and is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Tim is like, whatever. He comes in with a letter from Banana Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has Vanessa, my favorite so far, read it. She says that the winner will have their design manufactured and sold online and nationwide, which is redonkulous, isn't it? As a
Yeah.
prize, that's so good.
It's massive. It's massive. But then there's like a little hitch to it, right? That, if you win this, it doesn't mean that you are immune from,
Immune.
yeah,
Yeah, so
from
that is
losing.
true
Yeah.
too. That makes it tough too. When immunity isn't there, I think we talked about this before too, but when immunity isn't there, I feel like when immunity is there, excuse me, I feel like you're able to take chances.
Mm-hmm.
People can take more chances creatively. So that does kind of suck, but I have to say, what a massive, massive opportunity. And of course, Wendy lets us know that she recognizes this.
Yeah.
Um, so the room does now get to a little bit more intense. And I love the fact that Tim says chances are greater that you would be struck by lightning than you would get this opportunity.
Yep. Yep. Thanks, Tim.
No, just we're just gonna ratchet that shit right up. Ching! And so then Wendy starts to say that she's pulling back on her previous strategy because it hasn't worked. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
It really took you this long, Wendy.
Right. Everybody already hates you. Jesus.
Yeah.
And then we go to this is like so Delulu. So fucking Star is so happy with this dress.
So happy.
She is so, I mean, God bless her. It breaks my heart that she's so happy with it. I prefer when she's eating her bottom lip. She's like so happy. She loves Art Deco. This is 100% her jam. She's a Banana Republic customer.
I'm sorry though, I didn't where was the Art Deco when they first showed them these stories?
They didn't talk about, they did, excuse me, they
So how
didn't
do they all
show
go
it.
this direction?
She said Art Deco. She didn't have
But
anything to show
she
them.
just like she it was just like a brief passing thing that she said though. Do you know what I mean? And they all picked up on
Yes.
this word.
And I think it's because it's so easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so easy to get to that reference
Yeah.
of Art Deco.
Because I was really surprised when I saw the designs because I was like, fine, fine, but
and she took a left, right? Because not only did she do, it didn't feel Art Deco so much as it felt like Flapper, like
Flapper,
19,
exactly.
like
Yep.
so the 20s and Art Deco. I mean, Art Deco period was during the 20s,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that everything that happened in the 20s was Art Deco.
Right.
And I think that she kind of just fucked up her references, but she fucking loves this dress,
Yeah.
which always makes me nervous.
I'm
And
glad she liked
honestly,
it. I'm glad she liked it.
and I will say, I mean, and I'm not trying to be a bitch, I get why she likes it. It's the best thing she's made on the show
Yeah, absolutely.
by far. And it's true. And she says it is the best thing she's ever made in her life,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
makes me say, how did she get on this show? So we move on to our boy, Robert. Michelle, what the fuck? So I feel like I understand Robert.
Well, I got really excited when he pulled out the animal print because I thought he was
Did
going
you?
to do.
I was so sad.
Oh, I love,
I
I
know
love
you love
animals.
animal
I could
print.
put animal print on anything and think it's
I
good.
know. And it looks good. You rock it, my friend.
But I really thought he was going to do something really fun. And then he sort of went with like the animal print in blue and I was like that actually could work. It could work. He didn't
But I
make
felt
it work, but
the proportions were so weird. I felt bad because when I saw him struggling when he started to like make 3 dresses,
yeah, yeah.
because I
I'm gonna
totally
sleep
get
on
that.
it. No.
I hate to say it, like, I 100% understand that feeling of like creatively, like having an explosion of creativity, but having it all be segmented.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like he had a lot of great ideas, but I think that this was an example too of the fact that as sexy as he is, and as much as his tan is fascinating to both of
Uh-huh.
us,
Uh-huh.
I don't know that he's good at this. And he says he's worried about it. I'm like, yeah, fucking, I'm worried too, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you got to pick a dress. And to me, to pick, to your point, that pale blue, and I didn't realize until much later that animal print was sequined.
Oh, yes, they did say that at later, and I totally didn't get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, fuck me sideways. It's worse than I even thought.
Yeah.
Um, and then we go to Kevin, who honestly, this is the kind of guy that like I feel like he needs like a crack. So
Oh, he does. He so needs
he's
to
an
punch him.
asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's just a jerk. Like this is the kind of guy that like someone needs to spill a drink on him.
Hmm.
So Kevin is making fun of Star's dress. I mean, listen, we're making fun of Star's dress, but like we wouldn't do it in the moment to hurt her and to undercut her confidence,
Yep.
right? Like
Right. No,
do
no.
that. No one's going to do that to her. But that's what he's doing. So she catches him, and he's a petty little bitch about it. And so Kevin says, "If you want to know, I'll tell you, but I don't think you want to hear what I think." And I'm
Yeah.
surprised because I would have looked right at him and been like, "Nobody cares what you think, dude."
Well,
Um,
that's you and me. We're not
yeah,
that's
we're not Star, the corporate lawyer. Um, so I will say that, by the end of the day, they did have a lot of time for this, but I think that they were looking for a really finished product.
yes.
So they go out for drinks. Everybody, it's so cute, except Wendy and Austin.
Yeah.
And so they go back to Atlas. Did you see how fucking cute Austin is? He's
I
wearing like a
mean,
Bedouin nightshirt with fresh socks. He's so
with
fucking happy.
white knee socks.
He's so happy,
Fresh
Michelle.
white knee socks. I thought he was going to pull out like, the triangle cap like to sleep
I bet
with.
he has dolls at home.
Yeah. Frilly
I bet
dolls, right?
Yeah, I
He
bet he does. I bet he
lines
has
his
dolls. And
bed
I
with
bet he's
them.
named them. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 Like that episode of Sex in the City. We're gonna reference that all fucking day. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was really cute. And I just love how he's sitting there and he's sort of, reclined. He wishes he had like a fainting couch.
Yeah.
And he's, get lip gloss on and
And
he's
his
everything.
sleeping shirt is perfectly ironed.
Beautiful. Like what looks like it was brand new. He just took it out of the wrapper like the
Yeah.
socks.
Yeah.
I just think he's so cute. The others, and I will say, as soon as I saw this scene, I was like, Jesus, wow, what a timestamp. The apple martinis, the
Yeah.
apple teenies.
Yep.
How early, like that is such a stamp in time. I
Yeah.
remember when those were in and everybody drank the apple
Yeah.
teeny.
They were
So
fun.
so they all have them. Nora and Vanessa both get fucked up.
They do. And Nora's like wearing these like flip-flops like all day and all night in New York City. Just,
23-year-old feet, she
yeah.
doesn't care.
No.
She just does not care.
No, she's not had a staph infection yet. No.
No, no, but she wakes up the next day looking rough.
Yes.
And so 9:30 a.m., everybody's like Vanessa's sleeping, Nora's like getting coffee in a towel, looking super fragile. And then they go back to Parsons for day two.
Hmm.
And I will say, I don't understand Nora's dress. There's so many pleats. It reminded me of a centipede.
I kind of understood it at the end. I
Okay.
didn't understand it in process. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oof. And I was honestly, some of the color choices I thought were odd, and I thought this was an odd color too. Alexandria or if I'm talking about like Heidi, Alexandria thinks her dress is resort wear.
Yep.
And then Jay finally has an epiphany and gets inspired by the Chrysler building
Yes.
and starts to,
Yeah.
speaking of literal, he starts to literally recreate the Chrysler building
Yeah.
on the bodice of the dress.
Yep.
And then so all of a sudden it's 3 hours to the deadline and Tim Gunn visits to kind of scare the shit out of them. Star invents a word. I don't know if you heard of this. She says lamb blasted. So it was
Yep.
like a combination of lambasted and blasted.
Yep.
Um, so fun here. Did you see this part with Robert talking to Tim Gunn and like
Where
literally trying to bullshit him about his fucking
he's
designs?
trying to, and Ree's just like it's a bit overdone, right? Tim.
He is talking so much shit.
Yep.
So much shit.
And
Tim's Angry 11s. You could put an M&M in each one of them.
and
He's squinting so much.
he says it's what is it? It's something. What do I write here? Something meets
Safari
ice cap.
meets the ice
Yeah,
cap.
Safari
It's
meets the ice
Safari
cap.
meets the ice cap. And he fucking hates it.
Yeah.
He fucking listen. This is the thing that's great about Tim Gunn is that like 9 times out of 10, I feel like he has a great way of showing people like, hey, this thing you're doing, should you maybe?
Yeah.
Without being very much like,
Yeah.
wow,
Like,
that's
should you
jacked up.
shift right now? Should you shift
Right.
gears? Yeah.
And I love that about him. But I feel like with Robert, I feel like he is just at a loss. I feel like he is thinking to himself, we are down a hole that I don't think this kid can get out of in one
No.
day.
No. And then poor Robert goes to iron something and it like the steam was orange and it came out and fucked up the fabric and
Well,
yeah.
this is why you can never use an iron in life. They're so bad.
But at least
Um,
he ironed his stuff. See, not everybody ironed their stuff. There's a few people who like did not get to the iron.
don't they have a steamer? I mean, weren't steamers invented back then?
They
Not
were.
Stanley steamers, but the other kind.
Yeah, no, they they most of them did steam or iron their stuff, but some of them didn't. Um, we'll get to that. I have some comments on it, but
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you
yeah,
fucking do.
yeah,
Let's see. Hold on a second. I did want to ask you, um, what would you do? Like, so I think Robert has a very interesting situation here. He does really have multiple dresses.
Hmm.
What would your thoughts be? Because we know what the final dress is going to look like. Do you think that they're either one of the dresses or either of the ideas that he had before he comes up with the last one? Do you think any of those were viable either?
No, but I also think too, maybe he should have stuck with one or the other. If he wanted to do an animal print, he just should have fucking rocked the animal print sequin thing. He just should have stuck with that and made it work, and then maybe put some blue in it somehow. But instead, he did the blue with the I don't really know what it is that he made. I don't know. He was very lost. He was very lost. It wasn't a nice fit. None of it was a nice fit. After he'd made that amazing like pinstripe suit the
That
other
was so
episode, right?
gorgeous.
Yeah,
And he's a tailor. He's, he knows how to
yeah,
tail things
yeah. He could tail things. He's yeah,
theoretically.
but yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think he had anything viable.
And so that's the thing. And then I feel the same way, and it sort of underscores to me why he just talks so much shit this episode.
Yeah,
And I think that's why. I think he just doesn't have any ideas. Because when we wake up the next fucking day, he is still talking shit.
yeah,
Like, but I will say he came up with the cutest thing that he's ever said, which is he says that he's a banana Republican.
yep. A banana
That's how he
Republican.
dresses
Yep,
himself that day.
yep.
Um, so
Right,
we
because
see
he
that,
knows he's gonna like sink, so he's gonna at least look good, right? He can't look
yeah,
like a schmuck. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he maybe was preparing to leave. I
Yes,
think
for
maybe he
sure.
was.
Yep.
Um, so then we see Kara-san, and she's making eggs and she's rooting for Wendy this week. Why? Why are people rooting for Wendy?
I don't know. And then so but Kara gives her a makeover because maybe perhaps they were judging her on her makeup look. And we go back to see like
And
the
she
the
looks like a
weird,
demented bitch.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the weird green eyeshadow like underneath like the thick glasses. Um yeah,
Yeah, I
so
mean, she has
Kara,
been kind of frumpy.
yeah. So
And she
Kara
had,
gives her a little makeover there, which I don't know.
but was it though? I mean, I don't know.
No. Well, I don't know.
Wendy's,
Anytime you like sort of start pulling out like the curling iron for straight hair, that is straight. And I just say this because I have curly hair. If you have straight, go with the fucking straight hair and do something fun with it. Why are you curling your fucking straight hair? It's gonna fall out. It's just gonna fall out. It's gonna
it just looked
get a
dumb
good
too.
cut. Get a good cut. Yeah.
It just, yeah. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but they're fucking designers. Like, could nobody have like let her borrow like a cooler outfit?
Yeah.
She didn't need to like put a curl in her hair. And by the way, is putting a curl in your hair a makeover? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I realize now that she doesn't understand what a glow up is, Karasan, because glow up would not be invented for another 20 years. But a curl through the top of your head certainly is not a glow up.
She was doing eyeshadow with the applicator that comes with the shadow. So I don't think
Michelle, I
she knows
haven't
what
done
she's
that since
doing.
high school.
Yeah. Right. Don't you just throw them out when you get the
Yeah.
eyeshadow pack?
I mean, unless it's like a naked palette, Jesus Christ. I don't get it. Yeah. Wendy is grateful for the help. And I think honestly, because Wendy is a fundamentally, I think, unlikable person. And
Yeah.
I don't think she probably has a lot of friends. So I'm sure she is grateful for the help.
Hmm.
We do go to my favorite place, of course, the hair and makeup room,
Yep.
where I think it's really fun to watch that. Like I can't wait till we get to spend more time in there and we get to see the designers really put more thought into that.
Yeah.
But we do get some sneak peeks of some cool designs. And this is where Star says what I had alluded to before, that this is the favorite dress that she's ever made.
Hmm.
Again, mind blown. Um, so Kevin says that he winced when he was looking at Star's dress.
Yes.
And Robert's dress is so bad that I can't even really look at it. He
I
has like the
know.
little wrap, like there's a fur stole, and then there's a brooch to cover the stain.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't understand. Is the stain was like symmetrical? I don't get it. Um,
I don't know what it is he made. I don't know.
I don't get it. Thankfully Tim got. I feel like they use Tim a lot, and this is what's so great about Tim. I think they use Tim Gunn a lot as like what would they call it back in the day? Deus ex machina, right? Like the intervention,
Yes.
God's hand.
Yep.
Like I think he comes in to do that. Like he comes in to be like, okay, we're going to the runway. Okay, your designs suck. Okay, your designs are going to be featured on this. Like, okay, you've got $10 to buy that. Like I feel like he's what saves us from some of the ridiculousness.
Yes, he has to
Um,
come in and somebody's gonna like sweep, right? Somebody's gonna like sweep through every now and then. And
he's a human
yeah.
Zamboni.
Yes. Yes, exactly, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Everybody
Tim
everybody
Gunn.
back up. He's
Yep,
coming
Tim
out.
Kim.
Right?
Beep.
Yeah.
So we get everybody goes to the runway. I have to say, I always wish that Tim Gunn was like in this part of the
I
show,
do too. Yeah.
because I would love his opinion on a lot of these things. But Heidi is on the runway in purple, which I don't love, but she's doing her in versus out
I thought
speech.
she looked cute. I thought her hair looked really pretty. I did like that dress on her.
I didn't love it. I just feel like she's just so gorgeous that I expect, superlative all the time. That's how
Yeah.
my brain works. Um, so the Banana Republic will donate the dress, money to the Dress for Success, which I think is really cool. We
Hmm.
have judges. We have Michael Kors, Nina Garcia,
Yep.
and Deborah Lloyd, who is the executive vice president at the Banana Republic.
Yep.
And then we start the show.
Yeah.
And okay, Michelle, I know that we have historically liked this first person's designs,
Kara. Yeah.
Karasan. And I love that we call her Karasan, right? Like I would never refer to you constantly as Michelle Barczykowski because your last name is obviously 500 things long.
Uh-huh.
But even if it was just like Michelle Barry, I probably would never just call you Michelle Barry, Michelle Barry, Michelle Barry. And yet we call Karasan every time Karasan, and everybody does that.
It's almost like it's one name though. Hello, my
Right.
name is Kara-san.
Right. But I think that's her surname. But so tell me what you think about the yellow satin dress. I thought it was finished beautifully, but I thought the gloves were weird.
The gloves were weird, but other than that, I thought and she understood the assignment. She did really good. She used one color, one material, and didn't get crazy with things. And she just put like some nice she embellished with, I don't know if you'd call them like ruffles or layers or
Yeah, they were like,
feather looking, but it was like she did some interesting things with the material to make the tiers. And it was simple, but she just took like one material
hmm,
and did fun things with it. And I thought it, and it was simple. And again, she said that these ladies, they're women who work and they want to, you know, look good at at a certain price point. And
yeah.
so using that one material with that's a real banana thing.
Well, and to your point, yeah, I think about it now, I'm like, is that a banana literally because it was yellow? But I feel like Karasan is one of those people that even when she is interpreting, you still know that it's her,
Yeah.
even just through like the way that it's finished.
Yeah.
I feel like she just finishes stuff beautifully.
Yeah, she does. She does, and she does put a really nice, exactly. Yeah, no, nice detail, and she definitely gets the iron out.
Yeah, she does. Michelle likes a bitch who irons.
Hmm.
All right, speaking of a bitch who irons, Michelle, do you want to talk about Austin Scarlett's design?
Oh dear,
I was
I thought it
disappointed.
was so cute. I thought it was really so cute, and it was very Carrie Bradshaw. But I don't know the rose thing. First of all, that didn't to me say holiday, not in the northern hemisphere. That said to me,
No.
summer party, cotillion.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Savannah, Savannah.
it was adorable. I mean,
Yeah,
and I think if he'd
Savannah
done it in
Georgia.
another material, it would have been awesome, right? Even if you'd done it in that ice blue with the
Or
little,
even that navy. Imagine the dress without the tulle underneath.
yeah,
But in navy, I think he would have won.
yeah. It was beautifully cut. It really,
Yeah.
really was. Although I thought the tulle underneath was cute. I thought it was a cute little addition.
It felt aprony. I feel like it made the whole thing feel a little aprony. I think it was because of the print.
Yeah,
I wanted to like it. It was super cute. It had that 50s inspo, but it did feel a little bit like she's going to be ironing wearing heels. It
yeah,
just felt a little referential, and I don't know. And it felt like way outside of what they wanted. Like
yes.
this was not.
This was
But
Austin's thing, interpreting Austin,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yeah, this was Austin interpretation of Austin's
Uh-huh.
Austinness.
Yeah.
Um, then we get to Star, and you know,
I
it
covered
is a
my eyes.
little, yeah, it's a
Covered,
little
yeah.
jokery. Her
Mm-hmm.
dress is like a childish copy of Carasan's design.
Yep.
It's very poorly done, but she
She does
likes it
not
because
iron.
no, she thinks it's wearable though. I mean, if by wearable you could put it over your neck, is that what she means by wearable?
Yeah.
If so,
I
then
wouldn't be
it
caught dead
is.
in it.
It is wearable. I mean, honestly, when I first saw it, I'm not trying to be a bitch, really. I mean, I'm sure you guys all know that like I can be a mad bitch without even trying, but I feel like I feel like her design would be a cute costume.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that were a costume for like a 20s with even with the little ribbon around the head with the little feathers, that just felt like it was very costumey. Like and not in a bad way, but like if that were done well, that would be really cute as a costume for a
That could have
20s
looked
party.
really good in Sleep No More, right?
Right, exactly. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Michelle and I went to this thing. So we have to tell you guys real quick. Boop. So Michelle and I went to this thing called Sleep No More, which is like an immersive theater experience last week in New York City. And it was super cool. And how can we explain it, Michelle?
um I don't know. It was red, dark,
Right.
and
Yes.
everyone had these masks so that you kind of all blended in. And it was there were
You follow
characters that didn't.
characters.
Yeah, the characters that didn't speak. Massive, massive rooms, like in so much detail in every room.
100,000 square feet of warehouse space in Chelsea, just with sets that were like movie quality, and you move from
Yeah,
room to room. You can follow characters, explore on your own. It's very, very cool.
and
But
it's
yeah, that
like a fusion of Macbeth and Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca.
Rebecca. Yeah.
And you do have to see the Rebecca thing because there's a lot of cross pollination between the characters. Um, now that I
Yes.
watched Rebecca again, so
Yes.
yeah,
But yeah, that type of dress, that like Star's dress would have looked great on some of the characters. But that again, because it's costumey, right? It's
yeah, yeah.
little bit next level. Um, we get to Alexandra's Alexandra. What do you think, Michelle?
You
What do
know
you
something? I didn't. I thought it was nice. I didn't think it was fucking awesome, but I thought it was nice. I thought it was like a
yeah.
the front was a little too low.
For like a person, for like an average human being.
Who's who with boobs is gonna wear that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you'd have to wear like something underneath it.
You'd have to like pin it, right?
Yeah.
Get your tape, your fashion tape.
I'd have to, yeah, I mean duct tape. Yes, I would
Yeah,
have to get my electrical tape
yeah,
and pin that sucker. But the truth is like the design in of itself, if it wasn't such a deep V, I think is really wearable.
yeah. And that was my only problem with it. I thought people did really nice things with layers in in
Yes.
this. Yeah,
I will say I would have loved this dress in another color.
yeah, yeah. The ice blue, I guess it was all they had because the ice blue wasn't a great color for everyone.
And three people used it.
Yes, no
And I think the
more. I
person
think.
that the I think the person who would have looked the best in the ice blue had the most ugly dress.
Uh-huh.
So we move on to number 5, which is Wendy Pepper, who
Mm-hmm.
I hate. So Wendy, looks insane with her like weird curl and stuff. But
Yeah.
the dress is nice. I like the Jackie O-ness of it, and I like the cape. Although the cape doesn't lay nice with that big
No,
wide cuff.
it didn't. There was something wrong with the cape. It looked like shit to me. I get what she was getting
It could have
at.
been a peplum.
Yes, and I hate peplums.
Yeah. The fit seemed a teeny bit off to me, but the I did like that sort of Jackie O-ness of it. I thought
Yeah,
it was cute.
yeah.
And yeah, I would have liked the cape executed better,
Uh-huh.
but I loved that color. I love anything in that like deep
Deep
navy,
navy. It's a real good universal color. It's
that
really
Russian
nice.
blue,
Yeah, and
OPI, love.
you can wear like any color like jewelry with it. It's everything looks like pops with it. It's good.
That's true. Any metal. That's
Yeah.
true.
All
Do you
right,
want to
then
talk about
Jay.
Jay? Yeah.
Jay, I
Hmm.
thought Jay's fucking rocked. I mean, he
Oh.
really did do like a literal interpretation. I liked how he did the silver top and the blue shirt,
Mm.
or was it vice versa? Was it blue?
The blue was on the bottom, the top was the silver
Was
with
the was
the
the silver with
cutouts. So
like
beautiful.
and a lot of detail, like the beautiful sort of like ruffling that he ironed straight, and then like the
You
points
just
that were
turned on
actually
because he fucking had
darts.
an iron.
Yeah,
Michelle only cares because he ironed it.
it's the details. It's really the details. But then he had the points that, and those are hard to sew, those darts, to do all that detail. So I I thought he did a great job. I thought he had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I honestly, it was kind of nice to see him. I felt like this was a way, just like with Karasan, I feel like this challenge, we got to see Jay actually give a little bit of himself. We got to see like his sewing technique is sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and honestly, I thought his model looked beautiful.
yes.
I
It,
couldn't
it
think of what movie star from like the 30s she reminded me of, but she just looked gorgeous. Um, Yeah, because I actually wrote Julia is stunning. And it really does look just like the Chrysler building, doesn't
It does. It does.
it?
It was really fun. All right, then
Oh,
Kevin.
yuck, I hate him.
So
So,
I just wrote black blah with hat.
so what I wrote is dresses yawn, hat is goofy, bag is cute.
Yes, the bag was cute. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, bag is cute. Like that's all I got. Like dresses yawn, hat is goofy, bag is cute.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
you know what it is? I don't know. So I'll put it to you this way. I don't know if with Kevin, if it's that I just find him repulsive
Yeah,
in the
he's
way that he
repulsive.
is.
Yeah.
And so I don't really get into his design. But I actually don't think he's that interesting of a designer. What do you think?
I don't. I don't. But I have to tell you, he triggers me in some ways because I
Yeah.
know when I went to like art school, where I think I was in photography school, the male photographers can be really oogie and gross. And there were a lot of oogie gross guys older than me when I was there. I was like maybe like 22, and there were guys like in their 30s who
Wow.
they just had that sort of weird quietness about them, but no personality. And I just felt, and they were a bit lecherous too. And I'm not saying he's like that, but he's like someone I never would have fucking given the time of day to. I just would have been like a real bitchy girl and just avoided him at all costs. And if I did have to like share an elevator with him, I probably would have turned my back. So, yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of gross. There's something gross about him.
Yeah. I just feel like if he, I don't know, especially because he's older too. So if he were Mario and he were 23 years old, see if Pepper agrees.
Yeah,
And if he were Mario, then I would probably give him a break
yeah.
a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
go, well, he's young, if he wants to be a dickhead about his talent, that's kind of what happens when you're that age.
Yeah,
But he's like 37 or 38, I think.
yeah. He's like too old to be uh
He's just too
creepy,
old to be
but
such a bitch. Like
yeah,
he's just too old to be such a bitch to the people that he's going and here's the thing. We got to remember like it's a fucking game. It's a
yes,
game. It's basically a game.
it is.
And so I just think he's just being
He's got nothing. It's
as you
just
would
like nothing
sell
going for him. He's
a
not
pill.
flamboyant.
He's a pill.
He's a pill. Like, oh, my mother would have said that.
He's a
He's
fucking
a
pill.
real fucking pill, Michelle.
He
A
is.
real pill.
He is. And I will say this, the next person is the person that I would most want to hang out with there. So I really do like Vanessa.
I like Vanessa.
Vanessa Riley, and she has the same pale blue color, same as Alex. Another hugely deep V, upper and lower deep
Upper and
V.
low. The slit at the
I actually
front
wrote
was too
Snatch
high.
Patrol. I
Yeah,
was like
Snatch
Snatch
Patrol.
Patrol.
Boop, boop,
Someone
boop.
on Snatch Patrol for Morgan,
Yeah,
who's covering up the snatch.
yeah.
She looks actually though, I will say, and I don't know if you have ever seen this movie, but she reminds me of Goldie Hawn in Swing Shift.
Yes. Yeah.
I just thought she looked so pretty, and I don't like Morgan, but
Yeah.
she was just really evoking that.
Yep.
Next is Nora. What did you think of Nora?
I thought it was pretty cool. I maybe I didn't quite understand like the patterning of where things laid. It wasn't like really symmetrical enough for me to understand what she was doing, but I thought it was a good try.
What were your thoughts? I'm not even going to go in here because I wrote for the dress, gray skater dress.
Skater dress.
So,
Oh yeah.
what were your thoughts on the white sash, the white scarf, and the white
No,
gloves?
that just go away. That has to
What
go
the fuck is
away.
happening with the accessorizing? Do they
Yeah.
feel like because the accessories are there, they must use them?
Maybe. Maybe.
Because I feel like I thought Cara Son's gloves like took away a little bit from the dress. I was like, that's a weird look. And I thought the same thing here, even though I didn't love the centipediness
Yeah.
of Nora's design. I felt like with the white accents, I felt like it just pulled me out of
Yeah. It would have been
I don't know.
more sophisticated without those things.
That's why we hire you, Michelle. Yep. That's
But
why you make big
maybe
bucks.
maybe
Yep.
in the Banana Republic style, I'm trying to think of what was in style at that time.
Oh
Was there a lot of
no, it
drop
could be
waist
that.
kind of things?
Well, I mean, that stuff, I mean, I wore shit like that in the 80s, but drop waist dresses. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like she undid a little bit of the impact of the dress with the accessories.
Yeah.
Next, Michelle, do you want to talk about Robert? It breaks my heart to talk about this.
I have Robert not sure, not ironed, kind of yuck. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
wrote
he
it's
pieced
bad.
together. I don't know what, yeah, it's bad. I don't know what he pieced together. I
Huh?
don't get it. It just looked like he scotch taped it.
I don't understand. He made three dresses. Was this the best one? Like, what the fuck? I it was just so many things. It reminds me of, well, you know what, that whole thing, what Coco Chanel said, when you, before you go out the door, you take off one accessory.
Yep.
I feel like he was throwing so many things. I felt like that it did not need the stole.
No, no. It was just
It aged her in a way that was weird.
it just was too many. It was too many pieces of little things that were in style at that time. Like
Yeah.
he just stuck them all
Robert, we
together.
love you.
Yeah.
We want to have your hot tub babies, but like this is not
Mm-hmm.
going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? So, and Robert's the last one. I mean, we're down to 10 here at this point, just to do Heidi math again.
And he
So,
knows that it sucks.
oh, and that's what's worse, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's so smiley all the time. And when do you
It's so
ever see
charming.
Robert not smile? This was, you know,
It was hard for Michelle and I because we still want to
yeah.
fuck him even if he's sad.
Yep.
So, so maybe especially if he's sad.
Yeah.
So of course Heidi says, "Step forward if I say your name."
Mm-hmm.
And so we have Alexandra, Wendy, Austin, Star, Jay, and Robert.
Right.
And so she says, if she didn't call your name, your scores qualified you to stay.
Uh-huh.
And then what happens is the
But you haven't
Inquisition.
necessarily won, right? But
Right.
you, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. There's a part of me that's like, oh, it must feel like a huge relief to be in the middle. But then you're like,
But I
oh, well,
don't
I didn't
know.
win. But I didn't win.
Yeah,
So
so who goes back? It's Vanessa,
so the people,
Nora,
yeah. So it's Vanessa, it's
Nora, Kara, and Kevin.
yes. And Kevin is to me very middle of the road, as is Nora.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they bring out the models, and I have to say, this is where it starts to get wicked fun for me because the more we get into it, and the more is at stake too, right? The
Mm-hmm.
bigger risks people will take, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when the models come out, it's only then when like the model is standing next to the designer that you're like, what the fuck was that? Because sometimes when they're moving, you're like, you suspend your disbelief. You're like, yeah, fashion. And
Yeah.
then when she's standing there and like stark with the bright lights on her, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can tell that the model is like, I hate this.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be in this thing right now. And so I always think it's fucking hysterical. So we start with Heidi Klum, who starts talking to Austin.
Well, so wait, so again, but the people who are remaining, they represent the
The
best and the
best
worst.
and the
Yeah.
worst, which
Yeah.
is, yeah. So Alexandra, Robert, Wendy, Austin, Star, and Jay.
Yeah.
And we can pick a couple that we feel like we're pretty sure are the worst. Like, we hope to Christ that somebody finally figures out that Star is terrible,
Mm-hmm.
and that Alexandra's or Jay's is well made.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very interesting thing. Now we're going to talk to everybody, and you're only going to be able to infer by the questions that are asked where people are in
Yeah.
the rankings,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I will say, the more I look at Austin's garment, especially why Heidi is asking him questions and he's talking about it, it feels to me, and of course this is way before his time, and Austin would not have known about this, but it's like Bridgerton light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
It's that
Bridgerton
material.
brunch.
It's that material. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
it's
I
very
think
specific.
I think I never would ever wear that material. I would never want to see that. I wouldn't even want to see it on a bedspread.
Do you know where I would wear that material? So I would wear that in a maxi skirt,
Oh
right?
yeah, that might be cute. Yeah.
But with like Doc Martens.
Yeah.
You'd have to wear something to balance it out
Yeah, something
because
like
you could never
so
commit. So yeah, it'd
yeah.
have to be so masculine,
Yeah.
or you'd have to wear like a masculine, maybe like a leather jacket,
Yeah.
like a moto jacket on the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you'd have to wear something that would balance that out because it would just be too like goofily feminine, like just too much.
But I think he also could have found a way like to maybe like keep the rose thing like maybe on the bodice, but then use different material for the skirt and for the sat like
It
the
could
sort
have
of
just
front
been a
neck.
bustier, right? Like it could have
Yeah.
just been a bustier under it could,
It,
and maybe a navy jacket
it would have
and
been an
cigarette
adorable
pants.
bustier. You're totally right. Or like
Yeah.
a pencil skirt. Yeah. I mean,
Oh my God, a navy pencil skirt. That is
yeah.
a bustier.
Yeah.
and with like an optional like cropped jacket.
Yeah, that would have been good. Well, Maria, I think
Gorge,
I know the job for you.
right? And of course my friends, today Michelle is trying to dress like me because we're both in like fuzzy warm things,
I'm
but
in my pajamas still.
I'm in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
My Benson's Wild Animal Farm.
Oh my God,
Do you
I've been
remember?
there since I was a kid.
Do you remember it? We'll have to go this summer because we can go hiking up there.
Oh
So
yeah.
for folks who are not from New England, Benson's Wild Animal Farm was like a funky zoo
Mm-hmm.
in like the 70s and 80s. And they had like wild, like shit you would not find in the middle of Nowheresville, New Hampshire, like an ape. There's like an ape house, and they had like, I think they had lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and all kinds of stuff. Now it's all hiking. It's preserved as like waterlands.
Yeah.
And they have a piece of one of the Twin Towers
Oh.
there, and they have a really beautiful not very moving actually 9/11 memorial. I hope I get this right because I was there. You start on a path and you actually follow the path. It's the literal trajectory of I think it's the second tower. I mean,
Oh.
excuse me, the second plane as it hits the tower.
Uh-huh.
And so you literally are walking on a path and it's the same like coordinates, almost the same
Oh.
direction.
Oh.
And then every couple of steps there's like a little plaque that tells you what happens in time
Uh
during that morning. It's really
yeah.
beautiful, but
Are there
yeah,
animals?
no, it's all shut.
Okay.
But it's cool because you could bring Pepper and you can go like hiking and stuff. It's groovy. We'll have to go. um all right, so everything is about to get, I have to say, once the Inquisition begins, this is always the best part for me because
Mm-hmm.
everybody starts to freak out because they realize they can't defend their designs.
Mm-hmm.
So Nina Garcia rolls her eyes while Austin is talking.
And she's not
Um,
convinced. No, not at all.
no. And she right away picks up on the fact that those skirts are not attached to the dress
Mm-hmm.
because so he didn't make those. And so she's very like eye rolly about that.
Yeah.
Um, Deborah Lloyd loves Alexander's dress. And then Heidi asks Wendy, who I can't even get over how stupid she looks, to explain her dress. Here are my 2 bullet points from that explanation. 1, I hate Wendy. 2, she says it's made to fit into their collection because she checked and noticed that they had capes
Yep.
in a previous collection.
Well, good for her.
Listen, this is the one time where her strategy has paid off.
Yeah.
Should have been doing that the whole time.
Where she did like some research instead of just like
And some
crafting how to be a
design.
jerk. Yeah.
Right. She
Yeah.
actually did some design. So Heidi Klum says that finally Wendy's design looks finished. They all have like a little joke,
It's
she and Nina
complete.
Garcia.
Yep.
It looks completely complete.
Yep.
And then I love Michael Kors. Can we talk about young Michael Kors for a couple of seconds?
Yeah.
What's up, Hottie?
Did you think he was hot?
I just think he's so cute with his blonde hair, so young.
Yeah.
He's relatively thin there. I thought he was so handsome. He says to Sarah, let's talk about this dress.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this dress. You know that's not good.
Yeah, he says that he can't picture it at Banana Republic.
That's like me like saying to one of my kids, like, let's talk about this grade.
Right, right,
You know that's bad. Yeah.
right. And he
Yeah.
says it's costumey, right? He
Mm-hmm.
agrees with us.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to know why she took it this far. Um, did you notice how Star is standing? She's like practically concave. They
Yeah.
do a shot of her from the side. If you get a chance, go back and just watch it those few minutes while she's on the runway defending her life. I think she is so gnarled
Yes.
from
Yeah,
like the
she's always like
stress.
folding into
She
herself.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, but she is like, it's like human origami.
Yeah.
She is folding. She is now a crane,
Yeah.
right? And
She's
so she is a mess. She's
uh-huh.
a fucking mess. So she tries to save things by saying that she's a Banana Republic
She's like, I'm
customer.
actually a Banana Republic
And that
customer.
lady,
Yeah.
Deborah Lloyd, is like, keep your fucking money, bitch.
Yeah, I know, right?
And she says that she can see the dress there, but Deborah Lloyd is horrified.
And
She says
she's
it has Jester vibes, and I'm thinking they could wear that as the dress in like a medieval times kind of place. That could
yes.
be the costume. I mean the uniform for
So
the
yeah, would she
servant.
so she called it a jester dress? Yeah.
Well, it does have that vibe, right? It has a like that Harlequin
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Deck of cards,
Um,
yeah.
oh, totally. Heidi Klum wants to talk about Jay's dress,
Yeah.
and Michael Kors, just gushes,
Yeah.
and he says it how beautiful it fits, and Jay is stunned.
Yeah. He's like, I can't believe this is happening to me.
He
He's so
was so
cute.
cute.
Yeah. See, I could hang
We
out with
love him
Jay.
too.
I could hang out with Jay.
Yeah, I want to be friends with Jay. Jay
I
would be
think we
cool.
could trade scarves and sunglasses. I could have a good time
Oh,
with him.
he'd have great accessories,
Except he
Michelle.
smokes. That's a problem.
Yeah, it's true. But by now he probably doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the good news. He's old like us now and probably doesn't smoke. Um, Michael Kors is as horrified with Robert's design as literally every single human being who has seen it is.
He's like, this doesn't look like you. Like that's a real parental thing, right? It
Oh
just
yeah.
doesn't look like you.
We're like, you're smoking hot. This does not look like you. And so then they leave the runway and the judges chat first about Austin. And so Heidi says that he went very vintage.
Mm-hmm.
And Nina Garcia said she wanted it really much more realistic and so that a real woman would wear it.
Uh-huh.
And I 100% agree.
Yeah.
With Alexander's, I was surprised. There was a little bit of dissension. Some people liked it. Some people said it was too simple.
But Deborah said it really it fit the vibe,
Yeah, I was
right? Checked
surprised.
a lot of boxes for Banana Republic. It could fit a variety of styles of bodies. Maybe if you just kind of made the dip not so big in the middle, or
Yeah, change.
put
You could
some.
change the color.
Yeah. So she again, but that's what's interesting about this is could could you work within their parameters? Because so many times, you have to work with what the givens are, and I think she
Yeah.
did a good job doing that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And then they talk about Wendy, and surprisingly, they say they love the clean aesthetic of it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then they start talking about what they don't like, which is, of course, they all hate Star.
Yep.
They talk about the fact that Roberts is overly designed.
Yep. And
And they talk,
pastiche. Yeah.
yeah, oh,
Pastiche,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I feel so
A little
bad.
bit of
Yeah,
this, a little bit of that.
it really does feel like Franken dress,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like he literally took, but I don't think he took the best parts.
No.
I feel like there's a fourth dress in there somewhere that
But the thing
he
is,
has
they
not
didn't
created.
really show any of the other dresses he was doing. They were just bits and pieces. There was no, I don't really know what else he was working on.
I don't think I think that's it. I think he was not able to complete any ideas, and so nothing really got finished.
Yeah.
They do praise Jay's immaculate dressmaking
Mm-hmm.
before they all bring everybody out. And so they all go back out into the runway, and we have Jay, our adorable new best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and Austin. Both of them are in.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandra is also in,
Yep.
and Wendy is the winner.
That
Nina,
surprised me, actually.
me too. I was 100% expecting it to be Jay.
I thought it was a little safe. Wendy's
Yes.
was a little safe.
And I thought, but then, I wonder too if Jay's would cost too much to produce.
Yes, and Wendy's
A lot of
could
work.
be mass produced, like
Yeah.
just real quick. There was not much going
Not
on
much
with it.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nina says that she was surprised by Wendy in a good way, and Wendy leaves the stage. And so now it's just Robert and Star. And I have to say, I had a moment, Michelle, where I was
It can't
like,
be Robert. Can't be
I was like
Robert.
worried about her boy. I was like,
Right?
who are Michelle and I going to sexually harass
I know, right?
during the show if Robert is gone?
Because that does
Um,
happen.
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Women do sexually harass men.
Yes, and we might do that again during the show.
Uh-huh.
And so all of a sudden, Star is out, and my prediction has come true.
I know, and I say like, and Maria's wish comes true. That's what I have written down.
Girls, if you just keep wishing, right? The wish, the
Yeah.
promise, the secret. Um, and it's super creepy. I have to say, this is so far the creepiest thing that Robert has done,
Yeah,
which
the
almost
the
turned me
the
off. The
kiss and the
kiss.
hug and yeah.
The
Mhm.
kiss was like kind of grody. He kisses her on the runway, and then, you know, Heidi says Auf Wiedersehen, and then she's Delulu though to the end.
Yeah, she is.
She's cleaning her thing, and she's surprised in the
She's
confessional.
so fucking surprised. So fucking surprised. I don't know how you don't see.
She's bawling, like,
Yeah.
huh?
And
What?
everybody's fucking hugging her.
And they're all secretly like, why have you even been here this whole time? Where's
Yeah.
Mario? Jay's
Yeah.
in the corner, like, bring me back, Mario.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be a fun foray into the categories. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. First, Top Gun. So let's talk about what was your favorite Tim Gunn moment in the episode?
It was with Robert. just it's
The
safari
glaze
means
look.
ice cap. Oh, polar ice cap. Oh, it's so crazy.
So great. He has the
Yeah.
best fucking line. For me, it was just his face when he
Uh-huh.
comes in and he sees Karasan putting Nora into the trash.
Uh-huh.
He's like trying to get everyone's attention, and he's just like, fuck me. Like you could tell, like he has no idea what's happening. Tim Gunn is the best. Two fashion faves. So what was your favorite look from the show?
Oh, I love Jay's.
Mm. Yeah, that his was really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
I have to say, I liked Alexandra's as a sort of second,
Yeah.
but I didn't think it was really wearable with that deep V.
No, they would have to alter it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much. I mean, there was so much extra, there was so much in the back of what's her face's Vanessa's dress. There's
Yep.
nothing in the front, but so much in the back. She could have at least given a little bit of that to Alexandra to maybe make a little triangle here
Yeah,
in
I
the
know,
V.
right? Yeah, just a little triangle. Yep.
And so now we're going to start. We're going to try a new category, Michelle. We just
Okay.
talked about this before we started. We're going to call it totally irrelevant questions.
Yep. Okay. What
All
do we
right.
got?
So we're just going to answer just a totally irrelevant question. And the question is, what's the least useful skill you possess?
The least useful skill I possess?
Yeah, I know mine if you want me to go first.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this about me. I can juggle.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually a very good juggler.
Wow. Stefan's a great juggler. You guys should get together and
Yeah,
juggle.
my brother is too. Yeah, we
Really?
do the whole things back and forth. Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
learned
got
how
the
to juggle.
pins?
Well, no. We do we use koosh balls, the big large koosh balls,
Oh,
because it's much less damaging should that hit something in the house.
because there's a place at the MIT has a juggling club that I've taken Stefan to before. And there are
Michelle knows everything. Sorry.
all these MIT brilliant fucking people just juggling all this different shit. And then sometimes like someone shows up like on a unicycle and juggles his pins.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Right. That is just
Yeah.
like the big dick of juggling right there. Right.
Yeah, I have just the average dick. I can just juggle three things, and I have small hands, so koosh balls are probably the limit. But yeah, that's my completely useless skill. How
Uh-huh.
about you?
Wow. My most useless skill. Uh I don't know. That's a really hard one. I mean, they're also useless. I mean, I mean, they're just like,
I think you don't have any. I think all of your skills are probably being put to use.
yeah, they're all being put to use. But I'm trying to think.
I mean, think of it this way: up until recently, you weren't doing using any of your AV skills, but now you are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. What are my like useless skills? Useless skills. I don't know. Yeah, I can't think.
I think you
Clean,
probably don't have any, Michelle.
cleaning,
Yeah, I
cleaning.
was gonna say, I'm like, you are Michelle is act. It's not useless though. I was gonna say, I'm like, you're so good at buying snacks. All right. So how about your Michelle buys
That's
the
the thing.
best
It's
fucking
not
snacks.
useless. It's not use.
It's
It's
very
snack.
useful. Yeah, snacks are not useless. So how about next category? Exit
Oh
stage
dear.
left. So who do we think is going to leave next episode? Who are we feeling like is on the downward trajectory? Who we might lose next time?
Oh, it can't be Robert. He's gonna have to pull it together.
So anybody but Robert
Right.
is the
It
answer to
it
that.
it just can't be him. I
For
can't
me, I
have it.
really want it to be Wendy because I can't stand Wendy.
Yeah. I'd like Kevin to go still.
Okay, I'm with
I'm
you.
still on the Kevin train, right? Because that's
Well,
who
I
I,
feel like you should do a little, just hold on like I did with Star. Just commit to somebody being a shithead. Eventually, they will show themselves
yeah.
and
But
get you off track.
unfortunately, I don't know. When we really look at like the quality of people's stuff, he kind of always seems to do okay.
Well, to your point, he does okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? He doesn't really do well. He's usually in the middle.
Yeah. Just in the middle.
And I
Yeah.
think that is the key for us. I think that's a bad sign, I think, in a competition like this. I think you want someone who's like taking more risks. So we'll see. I think he might have to do some shit or he might be out of here. So for you, it's
Yeah.
Wendy. I mean, excuse me, for me, it's Wendy, and for you, it's Kevin. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
So let's go on to our last category, which is whatever happened to Baby Jane, which is what happens to the person who was eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So, Star, I am so happy, number one, to see her go, but I'm very unhappy to have to pronounce her last name, which is spelled thusly: Ilzhoefer. So, Ilzephyr, maybe? So, since her time on Project Runway, she made a significant change from the glitz, glamour, and grit of the fashion design world. She went on to work as a corporate lawyer for 5 years for some prestigious firms. And after working as a corporate lawyer, she switched fields again, turning to real estate. However, since ranking 10th place in season one, she has actually had some legal troubles, excuse me. Her real estate career landed her in hot water when she faced federal charges of mortgage fraud in
Oh,
2018 in Charlotte, North Carolina.
oh, that is such a hot topic you don't want to be part of. What the fuck was she doing?
Stop. No bueno. No
So,
bueno, Star.
so you know, my family's been in real estate forever, and then
Yeah.
for a while I sold real estate because I just wanted to understand how it worked and what on earth. And I'm telling you, it is worse than being a social worker. It's incredible,
You're doing the Lord's work.
but it is the Lord's work. But I'm telling you, the mortgage shit that comes up is fraught with deception,
Wow.
and it's terrible, and it taking advantage of people. So I was selling like the whole time when it was like they were doing like the mortgages like that to people that shouldn't have mortgages, like the kind
Oh,
of I don't know what kind of mortgages you call that. They weren't like top tier mortgages, they were like five
like
like
a
after
like Fannie Mae things, that kind of thing.
subprime. They were subprime.
Oh,
So what you do is you'd get a mortgage and they would tell you, oh yes, you can afford this. It's going to be like 1% for 5 years, but then after 5 years, everything fucking fell apart because suddenly these people couldn't afford the interest rate going on top of the mortgage, and then everything sold like for it was all in foreclosure. So
oh
and
wow.
again, that was a banker thing. So what she's doing in a mortgage fraud thing, selling real estate, she's really stepping out, I gotta say.
Yeah, I feel like, she doesn't bring a lot of confidence.
No.
Like I'm stunned, like as a corporate attorney. Well, then again, she's probably not doing a lot of arguing live in person. She's probably doing a lot of writing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's probably a monster behind a keyboard. But
Probably.
she doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence when she speaks. So I can't even imagine that anyone would not only ask her to be an attorney for a large corporation or for a prestigious corporation, but would also want her to be involved in a real estate deal. She just doesn't feel like that kind of person to me. So it's so surprising. But then again, I have two words for myself for that: Teresa Giudice. Um,
Right.
so yeah, so this is a good one. This was a good one. I have to say, it was good to finally see her go. I'm excited now because the people that are left, I feel like even though people like Wendy and Kevin rub me the wrong way, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they at least have some talent in
Yeah.
design.
And I think too we got to see just that little bit more of what people's designs were this week. That made me happy
Mm.
because before they were just kind of fleeting through, and even if you paused it you couldn't really get a good look at it.
I agree. I feel like every episode it gets better and better because we spend more and more time being able to look at the actual fashion
Yeah.
and be able to sort of understand what goes in behind it. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we get the drama. That's where we get people's personalities. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's all happening, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's all happening. Oh, so this was a really fun one, Michelle. What a great pod.
Yeah, this was good. This was we're having fun with this one. Um and I guess next time, until then.
Until
Until
then.
then, so people, I hope that you are enjoying this. If you don't enjoy it, I'd still love to hear it. You can rate and review us, tell your friends. I have no friends, so you have to tell them for me.
Right.
And
We're running out of relatives, so
we're running out
please.
of relatives, yeah,
Yeah.
because all our friends we've shit on like throughout the years. So
Yeah. Sorry.
if you, and people say this all the time, but if you just tap a little rating, doesn't take long, it's just under your thumb, right?
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you do want to give a review, and also too, if you have any thoughts on what we should do or not do, I like that too.
Yeah, definitely contact us on Instagram. Follow us there. There'll be a link in the show notes of this episode.
Cool. Cool. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you
Thank
next
you.
time.